Dubai is the home of unique megastructures. Whether it's the world's tallest building, a sail-shaped hotel, or artificial palm-shaped islands, you can be sure that whenever a construction project is announced in this part of the desert, it's going to be ambitious. But over the last 2 decades, there's been one project that hasn't exactly gone to plan. Dubai's $14 billion investment into creating an artificial archipelago resembling the world map in the Persian Gulf has left experts more confused than amazed. Today, almost all of these islands are barren and abandoned, like scars on the otherwise pristine waters of the Persian Gulf. In 2003, Dubai announced that it would build 300 artificial islands about 2.5 miles off its coast in the Persian Gulf. Together, the islands would form a world map, with each piece of land named after its corresponding country. Soon after it was announced, the project got a lot of media attention. In 2006, billionaire Richard Branson posed with a telephone booth on Britain. Rumors circulated about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie buying Ethiopia, and an island in Antarctica was gifted to the Formula One legend Michael Schumacher. Over the next couple of years, laborers worked around the clock to get these islands ready. They dredged millions of tons of sand from the bottom of the Gulf and created blocks of artificial land ranging between 250,000 to 900,000 square feet. Finally, in 2008, the initial phase of the project was complete. The islands, spread across 5.4 miles of sea, were built. The only problem? It was 2008. The project hit its first roadblock with the major global financial crisis of 2008. Soon after the final island was created, it was reported that billions of dollars of construction contracts disappeared, and the islands were left sad and empty. Dubai World, the government body in charge of the world islands, found itself $60 billion in debt. A series of unfortunate events followed, with the owner of the Great Britain and Thailand Islands going to jail for fraud and the owner of Ireland committing suicide. The only island to have survived this crisis was Lebanon, which until about 2022 was the only world island open to the public. For about $100 to $150 per day, tourists can get a one-day pass to the island, which has a hotel, a pool, and a restaurant. All other projects were halted until the economy recovered. At the same time, the project was also plagued by several environmental concerns. Many had pointed out that millions of tons of displaced sand were burying coral reefs and killing off entire fish and turtle populations. The island's architects were also accused of altering currents and silting the Gulf's naturally aquamarine waters. However, one of the biggest concerns holding back investors was raised in 2011. Penguin Marine, the company that held the rights to provide transport to and from the islands, told reporters that the islands were slowly falling back into the sea. Because of constant erosion and deterioration, its spokesperson said, it would only be a matter of time before the sea reclaimed some islands. But Nakheel, the company behind the World Islands project, rubbished these claims. It said several measures were being taken to ensure that neither erosion nor any extreme weather patterns, such as storms or big waves, posed a threat to the islands. Then there were the logistical problems. When the project was conceived, the idea was to sell individual islands to billionaires, who could access them by boat or seaplane. However, by the time they were ready, developers found very few billionaire takers. Instead, they had to figure out how to make the islands more commercially viable and open them up to the public. This meant bringing some of the islands, which were up to 2 miles away, closer together and increasing the amount of commercial area. They needed to rebrand the islands to look more like a city in the sea, like Venice on steroids, as one of the architects says. It has taken more than a decade after their completion, but now it seems like the barren world islands are slowly being revived from the dead. Lebanon remained the only populated island until 2022, when the Anatara World Islands Resort opened its doors in the South America cluster. One entire island is devoted to the resort's 70 rooms, including suites and pool villas. The resort's launch is also an indication that the architects were successful in their mission, creating resorts and commercial centers on the denser, more easy-to-access islands, and leaving the exclusive islands for private estates up in the north. Another plan going full steam ahead is the Heart of Europe, estimated to be completed by 2026. This ambitious development project, spread over several islands, attempts to replicate the experience of visiting Europe. With islands dedicated to destinations like Monaco and Venice, and countries like Sweden and Germany, Heart of Europe will be a collection of several luxury resorts and lavish restaurants. It's also going to have residences like you've never seen before. These half-submerged domes are called floating seahorses and are possibly the first ever houses in the world to have an underwater master bedroom and an outdoor coral garden. Above deck, each house will have a floating bed, a balcony, and direct access to the sea. It's no wonder 60 floating seahorses were sold in 2015, before even one was built. We said in the beginning of this video that the World Islands was one of the first mega constructions in Dubai to fall flat on its promises. But the developer of the Heart of Europe project, Joseph Kleindienst, seems to have single-handedly changed that. Among his plans are a heart-shaped island in St. Petersburg for honeymooning couples, a Sweden island that's made up of 10 luxury palaces, and a Switzerland-themed resort with actual snow in Dubai, where it routinely crosses 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So, if you were disappointed with Dubai for failing to deliver on the shock factor we've come to expect, I'd suggest giving it a few more years.